Goku, the hero who saved universes countless times, never broken by any enemy, yet betrayed by everyone. He was thrown into a prison where the body does not die, but the soul is slowly crushed. A prison filled with the screams of the most terrifying and dangerous creatures in existence. So who did this to Goku? And more importantly, how will he escape this hell? Welcome, my friends. This new channel is the official place where you will find all upcoming episodes with higher quality and a stronger story. This is where the journey continues. Get ready, because episode 7, the final episode, is very close. So subscribe now, turn on the notification bell, and stay tuned for everything that's coming.
A few days later, the Tournament of Rulership was announced, a tournament unlike anything history had ever witnessed, bringing together the strongest fighters of Universe 7 to face the elite champions of Universe 11. The crowds roared wildly, screaming with confidence and arrogance. Among them were the people of Earth in the stands of Universe 7, while on the opposite side stood the supporters of Universe 11. At the highest tiers of the arena, the rulers of destruction and the Kaioshin sat, watching with anticipation and caution, while the attendants whispered among themselves, debating the identity of the winner. Above them all sat Zeno, surrounded by his guards, watching with a childlike excitement mixed with suspense. The matches began, one after another. Topo fell after a fierce battle. And then it was Vegeta's turn. He fought with everything he had, surpassed his limits, unleashed his full power, but he took a massive punch from Jiren that slammed him to the ground. He collapsed unconscious in the middle of the arena. The battle continued, yet something was wrong. Goku, who stood at a distance, looked exhausted. He gazed at Vegeta lying motionless on the ground, and he did not smile as he usually did. He stood in silence, his energy unstable, his breathing heavy, and his eyes carried a darkness no one had ever seen before, a darkness that never belonged to him.
I told you not to rush, Goku,
a faint voice said, but there was no one near him in the battlefield. Goku turned around, his heart pounding violently, and whispered, barely audible, "Who are you?" No answer came. Suddenly, the beast within him awakened, a dark entity born only once every million years, an entity that grows stronger with its host's tragedy and rage, a power directly supported by the King of Darkness himself. Goku's hair began to take multiple forms, shifting from one moment to the next, as if his body could no longer contain what was inside him. The entity spoke in a voice that pierced his consciousness.
I told you, you are weak. Do you really think you can defeat Jiren on your own? Without your companions, you would never have won the previous tournament against him. Then it added harshly, I will show you true power.
Goku spoke to himself, his inner voice trembling. Power, he said. At a time like this, I need it desperately. But who are you? Before he could grasp what was happening, the strange offer came.
I will give you 5% of my power.
Goku did not hesitate. He did not think. He said to himself, it doesn't matter. I just want power to win this fight, 1 versus 1. That heavy voice echoed deep within him.
The cursed deal is done.
A terrifying laugh tore through the silence of the arena, a laugh that did not come from Goku's mouth, but from his body. Goku was no longer conscious. His body screamed with energy, but his will was completely absent. Flames erupted in the stands. Some spectators screamed in terror, others fled without thinking.
What is this? Where did he get all this energy?
Even Jiren, the greatest of fighters, stepped back. For the first time, he felt a weight he had never felt before. Goku had surpassed every expectation, every limit the universe had ever known. Fiery markings began to form across Goku's back. His skin glowed. His hair turned into flames that scorched the arena. His eyes became pitch black, devoid of any light. A single glance from him caused many to lose consciousness under the sheer pressure. Goku turned swiftly and found Jiren standing alone in the center of the arena. In a single instant, he ambushed him with a devastating kick to the abdomen, shattering his spine. When the dust settled, a horrifying silence fell. Everyone witnessed the dreadful scene. Jiren was dead, his body in a miserable state. It was not merely a kick, it was an energy cannon unlike anything ever seen, a force that tore through his body without mercy. All that filled everyone's thoughts was this: Goku, the kind-hearted one, the symbol of hope who never killed even the fiercest enemies after defeating them, now stood in the center of the arena, and everyone watched in fear. Even those closest to him felt terror seep into their hearts. They had never seen Goku like this before. Daishinkan stepped forward, his voice heavy like a final verdict, and said, "This has gone out of control. This is not the Goku you know. He has become a monster, a threat to the world, and his presence among us is a danger to us all." The rulers of destruction began to question one another, fear creeping into their hearts. Killing was proposed, then immediately rejected. Zeno would never forgive it, and Goku was still his favorite. Any direct harm could put all universes at risk of annihilation. Silence fell. Then the only possible decision was spoken: Hell Prison. The cursed time chamber, a place where the body does not die, but the soul collapses piece by piece. The ruler of destruction, Jin, who had never feared any opponent before, stepped forward confidently and said, "I will seize him. He won't escape my special Hakai power." The moment he leapt into the arena, terror spread through the hearts of all the rulers of destruction. No one spoke. No one dared. What they witnessed was worse than a nightmare. Goku drove dense, fiery energy through his hand straight into Jin's abdomen in a horrific manner. Smiling a wicked smile as if he were enjoying it. In that moment, everyone realized that everything was over. The decisive order came from Zeno in a single word:
"Seize him!"
The two guards moved at unbelievable speed toward the arena, toward Goku. Suddenly, a massive explosion thundered, obliterating the arena completely, and light engulfed everything. When Goku opened his eyes, he was bound by black chains pulsing with a strange energy, darkness surrounding him from every direction. Goku could not remember exactly what he had done to end up here, in this terrifying alien place, Hell Prison, where the air is heavy, breathing is slow, and every breath feels like a knife slicing through the lungs. The body does not die, but it decays, and every passing second brings pain, as if time itself takes pleasure in tormenting those inside. Goku tried to tear the restraints apart with all his strength. He pulled, screamed, pushed, but to no avail. The chains did not move an inch. They were infused with an eerie power, a cold, merciless energy. Chains that cannot be broken. He said in a tired, broken voice, almost choking, Is there anyone here? Is there anyone who can help me?" But the answer was silence. Silence heavier than the chains themselves. A deep, cold voice emerged from within him.
Remember, Goku, you asked for power, and I gave you only a part of it.
Then it laughed and said,
You can't break these chains, can you? But which path will you choose? The path of the hero who will free himself, or a step of no return, like the catastrophe you caused in the middle of the battle?
"A catastrophe? Me? What did I do?"
Oh, no, this not good.
On planet Earth, everyone wanted to make sure that Goku would never get out. After what they had seen, they realized that imprisoning him was the wise decision, despite the pain. But only one person noticed something different. It was not just fear. He understood the truth. It was Gohan, who realized that his father had not lost himself, but had been controlled by another entity, something unknown and mysterious. Elsewhere, precisely in Zeno's palace within the Council of Rulership, the rulers of destruction gathered by direct order of the Daishinkan. The hall was charged, unspoken tension, watchful eyes, and hidden smiles lurking behind faces. The Daishinkan stepped forward slowly, then spoke in a voice that silenced the hall instantly. "Goku has become capable of being stronger than me and stronger than all of you combined." Shock rippled through the room. He continued without hesitation. "His energy is evil. I believe this power belongs to something sinister, an entity with no fixed form, appearing once every million years." He paused, then uttered the word that shook everyone. "He is the King of Darkness." Disorder spread. Belmod said with clear anxiety, "Then will Hell Prison be enough, or should we kill him?" The Daishinkan replied coldly, "Hell Prison is worse than death." Whis intervened, unconvinced. "Father, I think you are being too harsh on Goku. He is pure, as we know." The Daishinkan raised his eyes and looked at him with a terrifying gaze, a look of someone hiding more than he says. In that moment, Whis noticed that some of the rulers were smiling secretly. They knew that Goku, since the previous tournament of power, since Zeno's admiration for his strength and his achievement of Ultra Instinct, had become a real threat to their authority. The Daishinkan said sharply, "The evil inside Goku, Whis, is taking control. Once someone begins to taste that power, they will demand more. It cannot be controlled." Whis replied calmly, "And what if he controls it?" The Daishinkan slammed his hands together, making the council tremble. Veins bulged, his voice rose. "Do not argue with me, Whis. This is the proper decision for everyone." Beerus said, "Then why didn't you propose killing him?" The Daishinkan answered quickly, "Zeno would be furious. Goku is his favorite, and the favorite of the inhabitants of all universes." Then he added in a lower, more dangerous voice, "We must hide the truth of his imprisonment in Hell Prison. After the gods subdued him, I told Zeno I would take care of him and place him in the clock tower. Zeno must not know the truth. Goku will remain in Hell Prison until he gradually dies. Then I will personally tell him that Goku lost control of his power and died there. And thus the threat to your authority will be eliminated as well." The Daishinkan did not do all of this solely for their sake, but because, for the first time, he felt that his own position was also threatened. Silence fell. Then came a heavy, decisive voice. Goku is not the only danger. There is another person, and he will die a slow death like him. I saw him rage as the guards seized him. Deep within Hell Prison, where Goku was suffering, the Daishinkan suddenly appeared before him. He said coldly, "I see you've awakened, haven't you?" Goku lifted his head with difficulty, his breathing ragged, and said with relief mixed with pain, "Daishinkan, finally a real person I can talk to. Please, tell me, why am I here? Why do I feel like my body is being torn apart? And why am I bound by these chains?" The Daishinkan frowned and said with restrained anger, "Heh, you monster, you ask too many questions."
Goku trembled. "Monster? What do you mean? This is me, Goku. Please tell me what's happening. All I remember is that I was in the tournament of rulership, Vegeta and I against Jiren and Toppo, and when I woke up, there was a voice in my head saying nonsense. Please tell me I didn't do something terrible." The Daishinkan did not answer. He merely raised his hand and said with deadly coldness, "Strike him until he falls." Suddenly, Margarita appeared, her face filled with anger, and struck Goku repeatedly with her staff, without mercy. His body sprayed blood and convulsed in pain. The Daishinkan said, "That's enough, Margarita. I don't want to see my clothes stained with the blood of this creature." Goku lifted his eyes in shock and pain. "Why? Why didn't you even say my name?" Margarita said as she struck his abdomen brutally.
Be silent. This is for Jiren.
Then the Daishinkan leaned closer and whispered in a harsh voice, "I will answer only one question. You are now in Hell Prison, at the very bottom, among the worst chambers. Here, time moves faster, and the heat increases as time passes. You will grow old, weaken, rot, until you die here, monster. Every chamber around you was created specifically according to the deeds of the one inside it." Then the Daishinkan and Margarita vanished, leaving Goku alone, confused, lost, with no understanding of what was happening. Suddenly, he heard that voice again, a dark laugh cutting through the darkness.
I told you, my power is nothing but a ticking bomb. You are the one who wanted a little of it. Remember, Goku, you are the one who agreed to the deal with the devil.
At that moment, with the words of the King of Darkness and what the Daishinkan had said, Goku's memories returned all at once. He saw the arena, he saw Jiren, he saw the kick, and he saw the body fall motionless. He saw the ruler Jin taking his final breaths. Goku screamed in pain and collapse. "I killed them! No! Why? Why did I do this? I destroyed my life! All of this is because of you!" The entity laughed.
I only gave you a part of my power. You did the rest. And know this, the power of darkness had been growing inside you since childhood. Whether I gave it to you or not, you would have exploded one day.
Goku clenched his teeth. And how can they think of imprisoning me in a place like this? Don't they know this was beyond my control? They conspired against me. They were just waiting for a reason. He then looked at the chains bitterly. You can break these chains, can't you?" The voice replied with terrifying calm.
First, my name is the King of Darkness. Second, I obey no one. Third, These chains cannot be broken.
Goku gasped. What? Why? When you possess power no one else has. The King of Darkness said,
These shackles are anti-dark power. It seems they know of my existence within you.
Goku screamed in pain and fury. Damn you all. You will all regret this. In Zeno's palace, the Daishinkan said, Beerus, listen carefully. Erase the memories of Goku's family and alter his image in everyone's minds. Make him hated, dangerous, a name that inspires terror instead of hope. Beerus froze in place. His body was still, but his heart burned with rage from within. His claws dug into the palm of his hand. He was not satisfied with the decision, but he knew he had no choice. Finally, he spoke in a low, broken voice. Very well, Daishinkan. Whis, who stood behind them, felt his chest tighten. He wanted to object, wanted to scream, but his father's eyes were enough to silence him. He had no option left but obedience. Suddenly, a sharp laugh tore through the silence. With your permission, Daishinkan, I request the mission to kill Gohan, Goku's son. Whis was shocked. His eyes widened, his voice trembling as it escaped him. What? In his mind, he thought, are you targeting Gohan as well? The Daishinkan turned slowly, his voice cold as a blade. Everyone knows that boy is the son of the devil. He may acquire that energy as well, but killing him without justification would bring us problems we do not need. He paused for a moment, then added, I will imprison him as well, but not in Hell Prison. Belmod laughed slyly. As expected of you, my lord, I know exactly what you're thinking. A single glance from the Daishinkan was enough for Belmod to feel as if thorns had been driven into his throat. He swallowed with difficulty. The Daishinkan said in a warning tone, I advise you, do not go alone. Inside Hell Prison, 50 years passed, yet they were no more than 5 hours outside. Goku had changed. His beard had grown, his body had bent slightly, his muscles had withered, but his eyes were deeper, filled with restrained rage.
He did not lift his head when he felt that presence and said with bitter sarcasm, You came again, traitor? What do you want? Do you take pleasure in watching me suffer? The Daishinkan stepped forward, his voice devoid of mercy. We discovered that you are not the only one who poses a threat to us. Therefore, you will not be imprisoned alone. There is another person who will die a slow death just like you. Then he said it with lethal coldness. Your son, Gohan. Time stopped. Goku screamed, a scream that tore through hell itself. What? He pulled on the chains with all his strength. Blood flowed from his wrists. If you touch a single hair on my family, I will kill you. I will kill you all. Gohan has nothing to do with this. I am the one who trusted you. I am the one who saved the universes. I am the one who kept peace among everyone. And this is my reward? His voice shattered, but he did not beg. The Daishinkan said indifferently, I do not care about Jiren or Jin. You are an abnormal being. Your power rises in an unnatural way. Zeno grows more fond of you with each passing day, and a time may come when one of the rulers loses his position, or I lose mine, or perhaps you might even replace Zeno himself. He stepped closer and whispered, You must not exist in our world at all. You will live here for the rest of your life, your energy slowly drained until you die.
Goku laughed bitterly.
And do you think no one will try to save me? The Daishinkan replied coldly, "Do not worry, no one will come. In fact, they may be happy now that you are imprisoned forever." Goku tensed. "What do you mean?" He said it like a stab. "Perhaps Beerus is now erasing the memories of all your friends and portraying you as a destructive monster that no one should approach." Goku screamed in madness. "What have you done, you devil? I will kill you!" The Daishinkan turned away. "There is nothing you can do now. I will return soon, and this is the beginning of the countdown to the end of your life." Goku shouted after him, "I will get out! I swear I will get out! Remember this face well!" The Daishinkan left, leaving Goku behind with a heart burning in flames. In Universe 7, on Earth, Quitella and Rumshi arrived under direct orders: capture Gohan. Gohan was speaking with Piccolo about his father, about injustice, about the heavy silence. "I know my father did not do that of his own will." The conversation was cut short by a cold voice. "There is no need to worry. I will reunite you with your father." Gohan turned around angrily, only to see that the ruler, Quitella, and Rumshi were standing directly behind him. He spoke in an angry tone, as if sensing betrayal. "What do you want?" Rumshi said with terrifying bluntness, "By order of the Daishinkan, you will come with us. This world is no longer safe with you and your father in it." Gohan's anger intensified until his teeth were bared. Piccolo stepped forward, his voice angry yet steady. "Gohan did nothing. If you respect your own laws, then everyone knows Gohan has nothing to do with what Goku did. And since I respect your status as rulers of destruction, leave now without causing trouble." The two rulers laughed mockingly. Rumshi said, "It seems the inhabitants of Universe 7 enjoy bringing death upon themselves." He vanished in an instant and appeared behind Piccolo, his trunk coiling around Piccolo's neck. Piccolo's eyes nearly burst from their sockets. Gohan screamed and tried to intervene. But Quitella unleashed Hakai energy directly at Gohan's body, shattering him. When the dust cleared, blood burst from Gohan's mouth. Staggering, Gohan said, "Stop! I'll go with you. Just leave Master Piccolo alone." Piccolo, gasping his final breaths, said, "Gohan, run!" Quitella laughed. "It's too late." Suddenly, a tearing sound. Cracks spread across Piccolo's head. The sound of blood was louder than screams, a brutal ripping sound, as if the body itself refused to let go of life. Rumshi tightened his trunk around Piccolo's neck with savage force. One single moment. Then the head separated from the body. Gohan saw everything without mercy. The head rolling, the body collapsing, purple blood staining the ground. A scene he never wanted to witness in his life, a scene that would haunt him forever. Piccolo, his second father, the one who taught him patience, the one who stood in Goku's place whenever he was gone. Gohan froze. He could not hear, he could not see. The laughter of the rulers of destruction, Quitella and Rumshi, echoed in mockery, as if what had happened were mere entertainment, as if Piccolo's life meant nothing to them. And in that moment, Gohan was no longer Gohan. A red energy exploded from his body. The ground cracked, the air burned, his eyes ignited with a glowing red light. Something else awakened within him, something beyond even best Gohan's transformation, something dark and furious. The two rulers swallowed hard. Their faces turned pale, sweat poured down, fear crept into their hearts.
The red light erupting from Gohan's position engulfed everything. Bulma, Chi-Chi, Krillin, and everyone nearby felt it. Chi-Chi spoke in panic. "I have never seen anything like this in my life." Krillin, his eyes wide in shock, stammered, Isn't this the place where I left Gohan and Piccolo?" At that moment, the entire Earth, people in cities and homes, saw that light split the sky, as if the planet itself were screaming. Gohan transformed into the monster, level 3. A presence that crushed willpower, a form that left only one instinct, to flee. The rulers of destruction wished the ground would swallow them rather than face him. In a single instant, Gohan vanished. One fist tore through Quitella's abdomen. At terrifying speed, the force hurling him straight through layers of mountains. Stone shattered, rocks exploded outward. At the same moment, Gohan turned toward Rumshi and smiled a horrifying smile. He grabbed him by the neck, lifted him off the ground, and strangled him with one hand. Rumshi struggled to escape, but it was useless. Gohan's grip was like an eternal shackle.
Gohan struck Rumshi with a punch that shook the area. At that moment, Beerus and Whis arrived with the others. What they witnessed was catastrophic. A single blow from Gohan was enough to distort Rumshi's features into their worst state. Vegeta spoke in overwhelming shock. What is this? Gohan kept hitting him, blow after blow, each strike loaded with rage and grief, until the ruler Rumshi could no longer feel his face and collapsed unconscious to the ground. But Gohan did not stop. A savage smile spread across his face as he continued beating him while he lay there. The ground itself seemed to writhe in pain. Gohan struck again and again, the image of Piccolo's death replaying before his eyes, fueling his fury even further. He extended sharp claws like knives, and at the moment he was about to plunge his hand down, he heard a trembling voice. "Gohan, stop!" He turned slowly. Chi-Chi's voice pierced his heart. "I don't want to lose you, too." He saw his reflection in a pool of blood, a face that was never his, eyes without mercy, features twisted by rage, a sight he never wanted his mother or his little brother to see. Chi-Chi continued, crying as she held the terrified Goten. "I don't want you to become a monster like your father." Those words were like an arrow. His heart tightened. The energy trembled. Tears poured down. Not only for Piccolo's death, nor for the terrifying face everyone had seen, but because they had turned Goku's name into a synonym for a monster. Gohan did not know that Beerus had already begun altering memories, shaping Goku into the worst possible image in their minds. Beerus lowered his head and said in regret, speaking to himself, "I am the one who did this, by order of the priest. He is the real monster, not you, Gohan. All I could do was leave Goten with his memories, perhaps so one day he may avenge you." Whis turned his face away. A tear fell. He did not want to witness this scene. Gohan looked at them, his emotions in turmoil, but he knew one thing for certain. Betrayal is unforgivable, and Piccolo will not return. He raised his hand and aimed his energy directly toward Whis and Beerus as they stepped back. Whis said calmly, in quiet acceptance, "Do you want me to create a shield to protect you?" Beerus replied without turning around, "No, let him do whatever he wants. We deserve to die by his hand." But in that same instant, Gohan changed the direction of the blast. He extended his sharp claws and aimed them toward Rumshi lying on the ground. Before he could move, a violent bolt struck him from behind.
his body slammed hard into the ground. It was Quitella's attack. In a miserable state, he released concentrated Hakai energy with everything he had left. Then he said, Beerus, did you bring the Dragon Balls from this planet as Lord Daishinkan requested? You know how strict he is. He doesn't joke, right? Beerus looked at him from the corner of his eye and muttered, Damn you all.
In the Hell Prison, Goku, with a broken voice boiling with rage, said, I was betrayed by everyone I know, even by those I loved. I became their enemy. Does Zeno know about this? Was Beerus part of the plan? And what about Whis? Was he aware of it? A low laugh emerged from the darkness. The Dark King, in a cold tone,
I see you have finally given up trying to escape.
Goku violently raised his head, his eyes shining. It would be better for you to stay silent and never show that face to me again. The Dark King stepped forward, his voice more serious.
Before I tell you something important, you must know the truth. Jiren was planning to kill you under a direct order from Belmod. If you hadn't killed him, he would have killed you, and I do not want you to die, because I would die with you in this body.
Goku froze, his breathing heavy. The Dark King continued.
As for Ruler Jin, his intention was never to arrest you in the first place. He wanted to end everything completely. That's why I controlled your emotions and made you eliminate him. All the rulers of destruction want you dead, Goku.
Goku let out a choked laugh filled with bitterness. Damn it! But even after all this, I shouldn't kill them. The Dark King moved closer, his voice piercing the silence.
Listen carefully. Do you know that you can be freed from here?
Goku, impatient and holding back his rage. Stop joking. Leave me alone. I'll find a way out. The Dark King laughed, a harsh laugh.
Thinking? Look at your beard. 60 years of thinking, and you reached nothing. Haven't you understood yet? I am the one bound by these black chains because of my own dark power, not you.
Goku looked at his hands bound, his voice trembling with anger. What do you mean by that? Can't you see my hands are shackled by these cursed chains? I tried again and again. I can barely move them. The Dark King, with deadly calm.
Your last attempt to break free was 30 years ago. If you want to escape, you must raise your energy to its absolute limit. You must surpass the limit of Ultra Instinct.
Goku raised his head in shock. Is there something stronger than Ultra Instinct? The Dark King laughed confidently.
I was born like you and lived like you, but in a parallel world, the world of darkness. So how do you think I reached a power that surpasses the capabilities of your world? Beyond Ultra Instinct lies absolute dominance.
Goku fell silent. His eyes widened. His emotions clashed violently. Then the Dark King suddenly spoke with a sinister tone.
Do you know that your son is now?
Before he could finish, Goku screamed madly. No! 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 My son is fine! His rage exploded. A massive energy burst forth. The black chains began to crack. The Dark King stared at the terrifying scene.
There is only one condition to achieve it. Rage. Uncontrolled rage. You must be angry, Goku.
After Goku realizes that his son Gohan is in great danger, Will Goku's explosion and his achievement of a new form be enough to kill the Daishinkan and the rulers of destruction and everyone with them? And the most important question, how will he escape from the Hell Prison after breaking free from the chains?
Goku appeared, but not the Goku everyone knew. A new form, majestic, terrifying, and entirely different energy. Absolute dominance. His body radiated with glowing markings. His aura did not erupt violently, but instead compressed existence itself, as if hell were bowing in silent dread. His eyes were steady, cold, no blind rage, only lethal awareness. He moved among massive stones floating in the void of the Hell Realm. Rocky masses drifting slowly, no sky and no ground, only suffocating emptiness. He surged forward, then faster, searching north, south, in every direction. Yet each time, without explanation, he suddenly returned to the very same point. No walls, no restraints, and yet no exit. Goku stopped abruptly. 80 years he had spent here, and one thought struck his mind like lightning. Why had he never felt hunger? Why had the place not worn him down? Why had his body not collapsed despite this hell? And in that moment, a voice thundered inside his head, a cold laugh saturated with contempt.
You fool! This simple line of thinking is exactly what kept you under Daishinkan's grip all these years.
The Dark King. His voice continued with confidence.
I am the one supplying you with dark energy. Your body feeds automatically on my power. That's why there is no hunger, no exhaustion, no death. Your very existence depends on me.
A heavy silence fell before he added with lethal sarcasm.
And since your body feeds on my power, your power has become an extension of mine. Your thinking is drawing closer to my thinking. You should have thanked me.
A faint laugh escaped Goku. He smirked sideways, filled with disdain. Damn you! Who told you I need you? He raised his head, his aura trembled, and the void around him cracked as if in pain. You appeared on your own, and I no longer need you. He turned slowly, his eyes blazing with frightening resolve. I will get out of here, and I will end them myself, one by one. At that very moment, in the heart of Zeno's palace, Daishinkan froze suddenly. Something pierced his senses, a slight tremor, yet terrifying, as if a restraint had shaken in a place that must never shake. His eyes narrowed. No, impossible. He felt it clearly. Goku was trying to break free. Without hesitation, he spoke two names, those of his attendants, Margarita, Mojito. The two appeared instantly, their auras cold and lethal. Daishinkan said in a low voice, devoid of mercy, "Something is happening in Goku's cell. If you sense that he is beginning to regain awareness or power, kill him immediately. Do not allow him to reach his peak."
Before he could finish, a familiar childlike voice cut through the hall from behind.
Hey, Daishinkan, is Goku okay? Tell me, did he regain consciousness in the clock tower?
The blood froze in Daishinkan's veins. The attendants vanished at once. Daishinkan turned slowly and smiled, a fabricated, perfect smile. Yes, Lord Zeno, Goku is perfectly fine.
He told me he wants to continue training in the clock tower for a longer period. He feigned hesitation, then added, "But I temporarily refused his request until I consulted you first." Zeno tilted his head innocently.
That's strange. Training under the pressure of the clock tower is very hard. His body might not endure it.
Then he smiled.
But if he wants that, he's my friend. Let him train.
Daishinkan bowed respectfully. "With pleasure, Lord Zeno." But inside him, the laughter was different, a dark laugh. Goku is not in the clock tower. He is in a place 1,000,000 times worse. The clock tower was designed for training despite its harshness, but Hell Prison and the Flesh Prison were created for eternal torture, psychological and physical without end. A hidden anxiety rose within his thoughts. I must keep this secret from Zeno no matter the cost. If he discovers the truth, it will be an unforgivable catastrophe. He clenched his fist slowly. I need a backup plan, a plan that convinces Zeno that Goku was wrong and that he is a danger who must not be released. And if I cannot find a convincing argument, his thoughts fell silent for a moment. Then the decision was made. We will eliminate Goku as soon as possible.
Gohan was thrown into the Flesh Prison, a place unlike any hell existence had ever known. A cold, silent, lethal hell, where no fire burns. Instead, bodies freeze. The air itself was knives, cutting the lungs with every breath. The ground was covered in cracked ice, and the sky was colorless, as if life had been forcibly torn from it. Around the place, shadows moved, creatures not created to live, but gathered here solely for torture and devouring. Monsters with horrific bodies and glowing eyes in the darkness, fangs longer than swords, their forms twisted by the cold like remnants of walking corpses. Their roars were not heard, they were felt in the bones. This is not a prison. This is an eternal slaughterhouse. Gohan's body lay on the ice, his wounds healed by Whi's order, yet he was left here to die slowly. He rose with difficulty, and the moment he stood upright, a cold he had never known in his life swept over him, a cold that seeped into the marrow, made his teeth chatter and his knees betray him. He trembled, then stopped, not from fear, but from loneliness. The first thing he did was cry. Hot tears froze on his cheeks. He cried for the betrayal, cried for Piccolo, cried for his father who had been painted as a monster, and cried most of all for the image of his mother, that call, that plea, never leaving him. Only then did he understand the cruel truth. He was alone. He lifted his head, his voice hoarse and broken. "I am weak." A short laugh escaped him, mixed with despair. "Very weak." He stared into the void, shivering. "If I don't become stronger, I will die here." The cold intensified until he felt his limbs beginning to lose sensation. Then, that feeling, a heavy, suffocating presence. Something was watching him. He spoke in a low but sharp voice. "Hey, come out. I know you've been watching me since I fell here." Silence followed. Then the thunder of footsteps. The ground shook. From the darkness emerged a white bear, but it was no ordinary bear. A massive being, its fangs coated in frozen saliva, deep scars covering its body as if it were a killer that could not die. Gohan wiped a tear from his eye, then smiled. A smile of fracture that
turned into resolve. He said in a terrifying, calm voice, "Finally, something that makes me forget this cold." He charged. The fight was brutal. The beast attacked without mercy, its claws tearing through the ice. Gohan answered with an exhausted body but a burning spirit. He fell, rose, was struck, fought on. Blood mixed with the ice, and the cold spared no one. But Gohan did not stop. With a final blow, the bear fell, silent forever. Gohan stood there, panting. Then he felt it. Dread, something bigger, heavier. He slowly raised his head. A gigantic beast, many times larger than the bear, a body like a moving mountain, eyes radiating death. And for the first time since entering this world, Gohan felt fear. Using the bear's devastating mechanical arm, he ignited a fire and cooked its meat. Hunger here was madness, an unquenchable hunger. He ate, trained, killed, and used the monsters as food, weapons, and armor to protect his body. He did not run, he did not scream, he did not break. Days passed without count. Gohan changed. He wore the skin of the bear he had killed, wrapping it around his body as armor against the piercing cold. And whenever hunger and cold intensified, he would sit atop the head of the giant beast, whose skull he had made into a place to rest or a seat to eat upon. Gohan said in a low, harsh voice, "If this hell wants to kill me, then I will devour it, piece by piece." And deep within him, something new was being born. Gohan was no longer a broken boy, but a survivor who adapts. And in this frozen prison, the features of a new beast were being forged. One saturated with vengeance.
After Mojito and Margarita arrived at the Hell prison, shock was the first thing that struck their eyes. The restraints designed to break Goku were shattered, and the place that had not been opened for ages looked as if it had suffered a silent explosion. And at the heart of the prison, Goku was standing, but not the Goku they knew. A strange, unfamiliar form, a motionless body, perfectly still, his back straight, head raised without tension, eyes open, staring into the void. No aura, no energy pressure, no tremor in space, absolute nothingness. His awareness was not here, asleep yet with open eyes, as if his spirit were fighting in another dimension. Margarita felt something she had never experienced before. A slight tremor crept into her limbs, a primal sensation that the laws of this place had been broken, that this prison no longer imposed its will. As for Mojito, he smiled, a savage, confident smile, hiding lethal arrogance. He said calmly, provocatively, "I think this is our chance to finish him." They advanced together, step by step, until they stood directly behind him.
No hesitation, no exchanged signal. The attack fell like a thunderbolt. A devastating strike, then full power thrusts, then a complete onslaught with everything they had. But Goku did not move. He did not defend. He did not scream. He did not turn. The blows landed, and in less than seconds, his body was crushed. Mojito smirked with a twisted smile and said with feigned sarcasm, "I didn't expect it to be this easy." Then he turned to Margarita and added, "If you want, you can step forward and kill him, or I'll finish it now and drive my staff through his heart." He raised his staff, took a single step forward, and at the moment he was about to strike, the body vanished, evaporated. No sound, no trace, no energy. Time froze. The two exchanged a silent glance, and in that same instant, a cold sensation crawled up their spines. A deadly shiver, even though the hell around them was boiling. A clear feeling that something was watching them from behind. Something not measured by power, but by presence. The presence of death itself. Then, one single step. A soft sound, yet unbearably heavy. They turned slowly. Goku appeared behind an enormous icy rock. His appearance was terrifying. Eyes empty of mercy, eyes that spoke of an inevitable end. The moment their gazes met, the ground shattered, rocks cracked, volcanic fire burst from the depths, flames surged madly upward, the entire prison trembled like a dying creature. Only then did they understand the truth. Goku had not broken free from the Hell Prison. The Hell Prison was no longer capable of containing him. Goku slightly raised his head, looked at them from afar with only half an eye, a cold, still gaze, and said in a low voice that pierced hell itself, "Did you enjoy yourselves while beating my shadow copy?" At that moment, the sensation of death seeped into their hearts, a fear unfamiliar, incomprehensible, as if the instinct for survival itself were screaming. Margarita instinctively stepped back. Both of them realized it was impossible even to stand near him, let alone fight him. Goku continued in a terrifying tone. "I was waiting eagerly for your arrival, how you tortured me day after day while you took pleasure in it." Goku raised his head and looked at them, a gaze not filled with madness but with complete awareness, and said, "Oh, you misread this look. Why are you afraid? I think you only contributed a little to reaching this transformation. Now, I want to return the favor." At that moment, the two tried to use their magic, escape spells, dimensional fractures, anything to flee the Hell Prison. But space did not respond. No gate, no echo, no exit. An invisible force strangled the magic at its roots. After the Dark King regained full awareness and power, and his presence extended like a shadow behind Goku, their final attempts to escape collapsed. Only then did they break. Mojito turned and screamed, and the two began to flee, running between volcanoes and fire, through collapsing rocks and a raging hell at the maximum speed they possessed, not as angels, but as prey. As for Goku, he stood atop a volcanic mountain, the wind coiling around him. He looked down at them and said with decisive calm, calmer than it should ever be, "And do you really think you'll find a place to run?" In that moment, they realized that true terror had only just begun. In your opinion, who is more terrifying now? Goku, who shattered the Hell Prison, or Gohan, who learned how to live inside it? Are Goku and Gohan still heroes, or are we witnessing the birth of two beings saturated with vengeance against those who betrayed them, more dangerous than the enemies themselves?
If you are a loyal supporter, this is your moment to be part of something special. Subscribe now, activate the bell, and be the first to witness the legendary ending.